Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast, the world's leading authority on childcare marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Childcare Genius Marketing. Let Childcare Genius Marketing help you get fully enrolled and fully staffed. Visit childcaregenius.com for more details. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey.
Hi, welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast.
We're your hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited to have one of my coaches, Michael, on the line today. We're going to be interviewing him. It's been a while since we've had him on the podcast, and we're doing a 2-part series. We're going to get to know Michael a little bit in week 1. We're going to talk a little bit about him and Mandy working together as a team. They're an awesome team. And then next week, we're going to be back with learning how to combat against free public universal pre-K and universal 3-year-old care in public schools, which is how to compete against free. Yeah. So it's going to be a great episode. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. And let's get Michael on the line.
Yes.
Hi, Michael. Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast. How you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. How are you and Carol?
Very good.
Real good. Feeling good today. I'm so glad to have you back on the Childcare Genius Podcast. We had you on before. Quite enjoyed having you. You're very knowledgeable.
Great to be back.
Been a little while, so good to have you. I think there's a lot of people out there that may know you, but not everybody does. Tell a bit about like where your school is and what state what country you live in, what planet you're on, all that good kind of stuff.
Gotcha. My wife, Mandy, Braswell, and we live in San Antonio, Texas. We purchased our school in 2020. And so we're coming up on, actually, we'll be coming up on 5 years in December. Will be our 5-year. As far as part of the country, we're San Antonio, Texas. So pretty much smack dab in the middle of the U.S., but south. And, love it except for the heat.
Yeah, it's definitely hot. Yeah. We've been there. We've been there a good time of year before it got good too hot. I don't know how you put up with 100-degree days, 100 days of it a year. That's just a little bit too hot for me. But summer's almost over, Michael. Spring is almost, or fall is almost good. It's probably like our summer is your fall.
We got about 2 more months of summer. So,
So you have like 2 seasons, hot and not hot, right?
Exactly.
It's hot and less hot? Is that true?
The only part is good for is if you're a gardener, we have 2 growing seasons in one summer.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so you actually have a spring crop and a fall crop. So
as long as you get rain. We haven't gotten rain here, so the crops are not doing well.
We have had a phenomenally mild summer up until a week ago. So it's been very mild for us. It's been awesome, actually.
They had some wicked flooding earlier this year too, in Texas, in a lot of places that a lot of that.
So Spring Branch, where the river comes through, is 3 miles north of my house.
Oh, wow.
So where all that heavy flooding was, and so we got a little bit, but nothing near what some people did.
Awesome. Well, let's give some backstory here. So we got a little bit about you, but a lot of people don't realize that I actually met your mother long before I met you. And I coached your mom for many years, and she's very nice, and I'm sure she's still very nice. I haven't talked to her in a couple of years. Tell her I said hi. Hi, Karen. So nice to coach her. And then I remember meeting Michael in between. He was transitioning, thinking of buying the school. And I met Mandy, your amazing wife, before I met you, and she was her director. And she impressed me right from the beginning because she really knew what she was talking about. And so you end up buying the school for your mom. And when we opened our coaching program, Childcare Genius University, 3 years ago, you were the first person who called me and said, I'm in.
Yeah.
And joined up at our highest level. And we coached for, I think, 18 months or so. And I was like, you know what, Michael, you've done everything that I've taught you. You're one of the best students I've ever had, and I've coached hundreds and hundreds of people. I said, how would you like to come on our team and work and help other people? Because you did so good. You're a good student. So, what did you get the most out of your time when you were a student with Child Care Genius University?
The most of being part of the university was honestly the accountability. I mean, nobody really, we don't have a lot of, being entrepreneurs and out on our own and trying to figure things out. I mean, I've always had the structure of corporate America. And that's where all my background was from. And so being an entrepreneur, I mean, hell, I didn't know how to pay ourselves. I didn't know how to, I mean, as much as I'd like to think that I was ready to be a business owner and that I would know everything, I sat down and realized that I've got a ton to learn. The basics, the structure was there. So purchasing the center was there. However, it had been, it needed some work. And that's why ultimately I remember and I recalled back when you were coaching my mom. Because back then I was working at the hospital and, my mom needed help. However, she didn't pay me anything. I just jumped in, started helping her with her books, started helping her with her vendors, her contracts, the business side of things, because my mom was the nurturer. A lot of people get into childcare because it's the love of the child, and I get it. And it's admirable. And it's one of those things to where it's a part that I don't have. That's why Mandy is, we're a perfect complement because I handle the business side. She handles the operation side. It's a win-win. Some people can do both, and hey, all the power to them. I mean, I think I have the easiest side doing the business side because having to deal, the way that we put those different lanes in place was Mandy's responsibility are the children, the teachers, and the parents. My responsibility is everything else. So by setting up those delineations, it really does help us to where we don't have a lot of infighting. She handles her lane, I handle my lane. If we ever cross lanes, we have hard talks. We actually had one yesterday. They work out great.
Yeah.
And we just get back on the same page because we're a team.
Yeah, I remember teaching all that stuff, and that makes me feel good when you talk about lanes and talking about, working as a team and heart talks. That's all stuff that we teach other people now, and we had to learn those the hard way. Nobody taught us, right? So we crashed a lot when you're in the same lane and you're both speeding and you bump, 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 and yeah, it's not always good.
Because usually
Or-
you,
I'm usually crashing into her. Yeah, usually never the other way around.
But I think if you had to ask, the biggest, most helpful thing that I learned from the university or y'all is giving my partner grace.
Mm.
If she messes up, it's not the end of the world. I don't, it basically, I mess up too. And I come down on myself that hard, but it's
You
not
probably
always
mess up
just,
more though, right, Michael? You just don't want
yeah,
to admit it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I can claim that too.
yeah, by being the boss, you can easily hide it because, because once you mess up, you just have to fix it.
That's right. Amen to that.
But going back
I'm
to,
getting a look, Michael.
uh,
I just said
going,
I messed up more, and I should be getting like, that's
no,
not
I was
nice.
just thinking how you're similar that you had to learn to give me grace when I messed up.
Oh my
true.
God. You only knew how much grace you got.
Actually, it was those trials that made him coach me the way that I did, which probably saved Mandy and I's relationship. So
All right,
it's
full disclosure, it took me 20 years to learn what grace was. So maybe that's why we kept bumping heads, but we figured it out along the way. Thank you for not giving up on me. And we figured it out. So, all right, you're up, Carol.
Was it hard to transition from a member to a coach?
a little bit. I mean, it was mainly because we love the coaching aspect. We love the community. I mean, honestly, the conferences were our only vacations. So that's the only thing that I would say was a drawback was, now the conferences for me, they seem a little bit more like work than they do a vacation. Um, but what I love about it is just like Brian poured everything into me, I'm able to pour into others. And by pouring into others, it gives me fulfillment. I realized, being an entrepreneur, and once we started, making money and doing well, I really realized that my motivation isn't money. And I was kind of floundering. And it wasn't until one day Brian saw me, I was just down. And he said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm just not fulfilled." And it wasn't very long after that you were like, "Hey, you want to come work for me?" I was like, and so in coaching and in also being part of the university and just keeping the relationships and friends that I have that were in the university and basically still being able to interact and help people, it just, I don't know, it gives me purpose.
You're right. And some people might look at us, well, you only been doing this 5 years, and could that be a negative? And the answer is no. And I'll tell you why. Is because, I read books by a guy named Robin Sharma. And Robin Sharma is a coach, and he coaches billionaires. Robin Sharma is a millionaire who coaches billionaires. So I'm thinking to myself, what can a millionaire teach a billionaire? A millionaire teaches a billionaire how to stay a billionaire and how to focus, how to set goals, how to achieve goals, and how to live their best life. It's not always about the person who's coaching you knowing more or knowing everything. It's about the person coaching you bringing out the best of your own abilities. And I think that's where people mess up when they're like, I have to have a coach that's owned 82 schools and has made $3 billion in childcare. And that is not the case. If you can find somebody that could bring out your best you, hold you accountable, get you goals focused, and that is what I liked about you, Michael, is you see people's abilities and you're able to bring out the best version of themselves and make them feel better about themselves after a call. That's half of the ball game in coaching because we have a hard job as owners. Let's get it faced. We're like, we don't have anybody to talk to. We're on a little island and you can't talk to your staff about your problems. And sometimes that coach is that almost like therapy where they're there to just help you get out of your own head.
Yes.
You with me there?
No, I'm 100%. I mean, it's when you sit down and you start talking to people, I realized when I first became a coach, it's not, I mean, being a coach isn't telling somebody what to do. Being a coach is pulling outside of them what they know they need to do.
Yes.
And once you pull that out, hold them accountable to it and that's it. I mean, it's just, and it's not even so much like shining a mirror of, hey, did you do this? It's more of, hey, last time we spoke, we had a goal that you wanted this done by this time. Have you had a chance to get that done yet?
Yeah.
And then they normally either come up with an excuse or, oh, I need to get on to that. And it's like, okay, well then what do you say? Do you think you can get it done in 3 weeks? It's more of like prompting them to a commitment and then helping them follow through.
That's it.
And by doing that, it's just the same thing of anything. Anything can be tackled in small bites as long as you've got a plan of attack and you follow through. It's that simple.
100%. And I can remember coaching you, same thing is, you knew that next call you wanted to get stuff done because you didn't want to let me down, but you didn't want to let yourself down. That was the thing because I believed in you to get things done. That's why we accomplished great things in our time together for sure. Uh, so mindset is something that we teach pretty heavily in CCGU. How has a positive mindset helped you through tough times? And I know you've had tough times in your life.
It's everything. And I can't underestimate that. I mean, I've been through, previous years, I'll just share a little something personal. I mean, ultimately, July 6th was my 10-year sober mark.
Awesome.
So going through sobriety, going through some of those times, I mean, honestly, I love my drink more than anything. I mean, but it was one of those things where it just wasn't good for me or other people. And so I realized it was a part that I had to give up. Now, it was a painful process and it was going through that process made me realize and how your mindset is everything. And the way that I look at it is, and even now I use a lot of what I took away from AA in how I run my business, because, just like when we're feeling overwhelmed and we're looking at the mountain, it's kind of like everybody would say, well, you're never going to drink again. And I'm like, well, I'm not drinking today, so I'm having a positive mindset to where I'm just not drinking right now. So as long as I just think about the now and not about the future, it's not collapsing on me to where I feel like I have to do something. So the same thing is like, if I have a daunting task that just seems insurmountable, I look at it and it's like, you don't look at the peak of the mountain. You just look at your first step. You break it out into small steps. You just make that small step, the next small step, the next small step. And before you know it, you're at the top of the mountain. So it's just, it could be used in every aspect of your life. But the main thing is If I stayed negative on it, if I beat myself up on it, if I second guessed or questioned myself all the time, I wouldn't have gotten anything done. So the best part is just breaking it down to, hey, what's my first step? And then once you get that direction moving, and so that's where I even, I think there was back when I was in school, I was reading a book, I think it was like called the 2-second rule. I can't even remember, but it was more of the same principle to where don't think about something, put yourself in action. And that's where even lately I've been having problems with motivation. And because, I talk about this when I coach people too. I mean, I've got my own struggles. We all have our own struggles as well. And so my latest one was just motivation, getting motivated. So then I found out that, well, I saw a good meme that came across and it was like every movement leads to motivation. So it was more about getting yourself up, getting yourself movement, doing the things. And a lot of that comes with the positive mindset. So like if I get on negative mindset, well, I'm never going to get that done. Or, I won't get to that. It's more of then just do something that puts you moving. For me, it was cleaning up my shop and then cleaning this up and then cleaning that up. The next thing you know, I'm doing the thing that I didn't want to do. And then I'm doing the next thing and then I'm doing the next thing because that momentum creates the motivation. So that's one of the things. And I don't know if I just went on a total sideline there, but if that answered your question. But
No, that's good.
It just goes back to where, I mean, everything now is mindset. I'm seeing it with my kids. I'm seeing it as they're growing up, how social media and other things bring people down and such negative mindsets, and everybody's comparing themselves to everybody else. And it's just the biggest, most important thing is you're running your own race. That person's running their own race. Everybody's running their own race. You don't have to be right next to them. And I think, what do they say? Comparison is the theft of joy. And it's like, don't compare yourself to other people. And I think that's the biggest thing people need to realize is that you're running your own race. And that's why the coach is important, because your coach will tailor to your needs of where you're at and what you need then, not what the other person is that has 5 schools and all the other things. It's like, because if you've got 2 schools and you want to get a third, but the other 2 schools aren't even running functionally, they're not profitable, you're losing money. What's the point of getting a third? In my mindset, because it's like, get those 2 running and run them well. Yeah. And help break it down to just 1. Make sure 1 is running well. Get that up to par. Get everything going smooth there. Then make sure you do it at the next one. But it's just more of you can't blanket all of them. But it's just, like I said, bite-sized steps.
Oh, awesome. Good stuff.
All right.
You work as a team with your wife, Mandy. What are some struggles you have, and what are some successes that you have?
I think struggles are, I'm the type of person that's very methodical in my thinking, but yet ADHD and everywhere with my thinking. So I have to be very structured on how I set up my days and when I think about certain things. And Mandy's starting to learn that as well when she approaches me about something that could be, say, financial and something like that, and I'm in the middle of completely different other brain, that's where we can butt heads. And that's where the hard talks come in great, because it's almost like a reset when she comes and says, hey, we need to have a hard talk. And then I can just clear whatever my mind was on, give her full attention and not just react. So I think I guess that's the biggest struggle, is sometimes she has a handle on everything. She's doing everything. However, I'm not in her lane. But if she brings something to me, I immediately try to solve it without even hearing the full thing, because I'm not looking at her picture every day. I don't know if that makes sense. Because it's just one of those to where I have to realize that she's an expert in what she's doing. She's doing what she's doing. She's doing a great job. And I have to give her more credit for that. So I think all in all, buttoned up, to summarize that, I don't give her enough praise. I don't give her enough credit. And I think I don't give her enough recognition. And it's something that I'm working on, but I'd say that.
Well, you got a big microphone right now. You're talking to the whole country, and you can give her a lot of praise right now. So go ahead for it, Michael.
Mandy, when you were the director of the facility, you brought that a place around. You created a culture that people love to work at. You did amazing. And I can just say that we wouldn't be where we're at without you. And I don't give you enough credit. I know I tell people every time I say I mean we, because I have a tendency sometimes to say me or I when I'm speaking. It's always we. It was her and I through all of this, and it's been great. So Mandy, love you very much. Thank you so much.
And that's good information for people who are listening. You have a spouse, partner that is a hard worker, appreciation is a good language.
Whether you work together or not.
Exactly. Because they might be out, in their job. Let them know we appreciate whatever they are doing at their job. And, maybe they'll come back to you. He doesn't appreciate me enough. Well, maybe you need to appreciate him a little bit more. It does go both ways. So, always be the change you want to see in somebody else. Be the first person to do that. Set by example.
That, and there's no small task. Don't discount what others do. It's like, and so, I mean, it may seem like simple to you, but to other, but you know what I'm saying about that. It's like
For sure.
sometimes we just basically put it off like it's nothing.
All right, let's transition to what's going on in the country right now. So we're in a perfect storm. I talked about it in last week's podcast. There's just too many childcare centers in the United States. Grant money, expansion grants. There are a lot of inventory out there. Inventory means childcare spots. But birth rates have plummeted. There's a lot of things we're competing against. And these stars have aligned to reduce profitability and a lot of childcare centers. Like the last time I saw clients struggling like this was COVID. Are you seeing this with your clients?
Yeah. I mean, as far as since Mandy and I took over the school, we took it from, just to give you an idea on numbers, we're normally at full capacity since we took over. It was at half of capacity when we bought the place. And right now we're at 74%. So, and that just happened over a week. So we were at 100%, for summer camp. But again, like you said, with all of the new programs coming out from the government, the free universal pre-K, just there's a myriad of different reasons.
Yeah.
And so what I've seen it with the clients is, and I've seen it amongst, as far as within the university, it's not just Texas, it's all across the country. It's every state that we've seen. Some are worse than others, but I can say the one thing that we can always, as an owner, we have to set the example for our employees, for the building, for everything else like that. So going back to mindset, that's where mindset is 100%. You have to keep it up, even regardless of the storm. But the second thing that I've been seeing is, I tell the owners, I mean, the only thing that us as owners can really control is what we spend and how we spend. So if that means upping the spending and marketing, getting the marketing going full bore. I mean, that's something that, we started doing 2 years ago, and we never turned off the faucet. We're going to keep the faucet going because ultimately, at the end of the day, word of mouth doesn't carry anymore like it used to.
Nope.
And it's just one of those to where I would rather make sure that I'm always in front of somebody's face. You never know who's going to be having a baby. You never know who's going to be moving into your market and gets that Facebook post pulled up. So that's why I love the marketing aspect of it. So I've been letting people know that, you can help affect that by, I know it's spending more money when you think you should be conserving. However, that is a necessary spend. Sure. It's not I've gotten to the point where I used to think it was optional. I don't think it's optional anymore.
No.
I think it's 100% a necessary spend.
I mean, one thing I teach is spend 2% on marketing until you're full of the wait list. If you're not full of the wait list, you need to be doing everything that's out there.
Yeah, if the marketing gets you one child, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Everything else is
pays
gravy.
for it. Everything else is gravy, yeah.
Exactly. So, but in the lull, it's one of those times where it's just, okay, let's analyze how we're spending. Let's analyze everything that we can control.
Yeah.
And that's just being good stewards of the money, being good steward of your business.
Yeah, and it's like being in a recession now. And I teach how to recession-proof your business. So if you've been following me for the last couple of years, you've probably got yourself in a position where you could weather this fine. Just keep holding on. We're going to give you tips and tools each week. So next week, Michael and I will be back with Carol, and we're going to talk about how to deal with free, how to battle free, which is public pre-K. Michael, you're dealing with this now, so we're going to talk about some ideas next week. But we're going to go and wrap up. You got one more question, Carol?
Yes. What book are you reading right now, Michael?
So I just finished for the third time The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Sharma. And then, but Brian, thankfully, Brian and you sent me this, which I was actually going to be starting today, The 5 Apology Languages. So thank you for sending this, by the way.
Yeah, that's a great book. The book, the guy that wrote the 5 love languages wrote 5 apology languages. And it was very eye-opening to me because Carol used to apologize when she made a boo-boo. She doesn't make too many boo-boos. I'm lying. She makes boo-boos. But anyway, when she apologized, it would never land. Like it just, it was like her not even saying I'm sorry because she wasn't speaking my apology language. She's working on getting that dialed in. But what a difference. If you don't speak your spouse's or partner's apology language, you're not apologizing. It's like not even apologizing. It's a really good book. We send every month we send books to our clients, and I'm glad I sent that to you. And you'll Mandy will be very happy once you get done with that. Put it that way.
I loved the 5 love languages, and that helped me out a lot with a lot of relationships. So I'm hoping this will help me out because I do tend to find myself apologizing more than I like.
Yeah, we all make boo. Even now, I make a mistake now and then, right, Carol?
Oh, never.
Thank you. That's what at least for 20 years, 25 years, that's what I thought. Though I did thought I made a mistake once. I thought I was making a mistake wrong, but I was wrong. So I guess that was the mistake.
Yep.
And guys, I'm kidding. Ladies definitely know I'm kidding. All right, I make a lot more. I gotta admit, I probably say sorry a lot more than you do nowadays, right?
Yeah, because I'm not sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey!
Because you're saying it, but I know you don't mean it, right? Because you're not speaking my language. I think you're purposely not speaking my language because you're not really sorry. That's it, right?
Because you're from Mars and I'm from
If we keep
Venus.
going, they're going to see a Hard Talk live.
Yeah. Or you can just turn your ears off.
Yeah, he can turn his ears off. I can't turn mine.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up, Michael. Thank you so much for coming on today. Looking forward to next week with an episode. So if you enjoyed this episode, come back next week. We're going to talk about how to battle against public pre-K. So we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
All right. That was good.
That was really good.
Him and Mandy are a great team.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's learning to apologize. That's always a good thing.
The good thing is it's so good for you to talk with Michael because everything that you learned, you're teaching him, like how to apologize and stuff. You guys are a lot alike.
Mandy probably paid you to get us to read those books, didn't she? She probably did, right? Yeah, 5 Apology Language is a great book. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy life to listen to the Child Care Genius podcast today. We're just so humbled and thank you.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Child Care Genius podcast. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Child Care Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.